Okay. What is good, fam? It's your boy Dways on Plays. You know the name, time, face, place, all that. And today, guys, YouTube street races are destroying their lives. Now, I don't know what's going on, but all these things seem to be going down on Kick. And Kick, lately, the past 3 weeks, it's just been mad things. A madness going down on Kick. Like, I really don't know what's going on. And yet again, we have another Kick streamer by the name of License, a street racer, if you want to call him. And now he's apparently gone and got himself involved with the law, into a little quick chase in that. So let's get into this. This video is by Atozi. It's your boy Dways. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go.
This YouTube street racer was almost arrested in Times Square after hitting a cop with his Lamborghini and barely getting away.
They looking for him. Chad, he's a wanted driver in 52 states. Now, if the police come, Chad, we taking off. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just get in. They're coming.
You're busy yapping. Get in the car.
No, get the. Oh,
If you thought Times Square was just about tourists and a bunch of Elmo clones hustling selfies, think again, because earlier this month it turned out to something out of a set from a Need for Speed cutscene. A blue Lamborghini Urus driven by the YouTuber known as License plowed through the middle of New York, clipped a cop, and smashed into a pedicab, which is one of those like bicycle taxis, and sent Times Square into absolute chaos, all while the entire situation was being live streamed on Kick.com.
The police officers were pounding on the car with their fists and batons, trying to break the windows and force the doors open. But License stayed calm, slammed his foot on the gas, and sped away before they could stop him.
And now, License is still on the run, posting content, and the NYPD are probably hunting him harder than ever. So, who is this guy that I'm actually referring to? Well, License is one of those guys who became famous for cutting up traffic outside of New York City while avoiding the police. He's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Kick.com, where he's essentially built this following of over 700,000 followers by posting this wild street racing content. And when I say wild street racing content, it's just like wildly stupid. I mean, essentially, he's just cutting through traffic, putting everyone at risk, including himself and the people who are sitting in the car with him. And overall, I mean, the driving isn't even that impressive. If you put any of these guys on a track, they would get clapped by someone who actually knows how to drive.
Whoa. Okay, now there I have to stop him there, because I don't think it's about racing when it comes to these guys. It's not about actual track racing. These guys are swimmers. There's a difference. These guys are cutting through traffic. Like, the appeal in what they do is the near misses, the squeezing through tight gaps. Like, that's what we watch. Okay, allegedly we watch them for. You know what I'm saying? That's the thrill. That's where the skill and technique is for those guys. It's not really about track racing, you know. Yeah, maybe they won't get smoked on a track, but that's two completely different things, at least in my opinion. So I don't know.
Essentially, you have a bunch of high-performance rentals just going way too fast through the New York City traffic, putting everyone at risk, and then they're obviously filming this with dash cams and POV cameras and uploading it to YouTube to monetize it. And they make a point to blur out the license plates, and on top of that, distorts voice and hides behind a mask. So he's obviously trying to hide his identity for as long as he can. Hundreds of thousands of people have watched him speed through New York, but as of right now, he has still not been caught.
It's a dangerous trend known as throughway swimming. It's when cars drive recklessly on highways, causing near misses or weaving through lanes.
Do you feel like you're a danger to society?
No.
How worried are you about being caught by the police?
Who would say yes to that? Do you feel like you're a danger to society? Oh, yes, I feel like that.
Unlike his friend Squeeze Benz, who was actually arrested a year ago. And if you go through his content, every video of him is either him taunting police, dodging chases, and then disappearing to park one of his rented cars in locations that he claims he only knows the location of. So when the news hit that he was almost caught in Times Square, that got a lot of attention. So here's how it all went down. A Tuesday night at the beginning of August, License was in Times Square with some streamers who happened to be live at the time, including one streamer by the name of Shangle, who had his own camera rolling inside the Lambo during the entire police situation. At first, it looks like the usual kind of like clout chasing fans stopping for pics, guys hanging out near the car, nothing out of the ordinary. But then you notice something. Cops already watching from across the street, and not just one, multiple units. And within like 45 seconds, NYPD had cars pulling in from 3 different directions. And that's no coincidence. That's a planned setup. They were positioning to box him in before he could bail. Then chaos erupts, the Lamborghini lunges forward, cops surrounded it, and pedestrians scatter. Also, keep in mind that this is Times Square, one of the busiest places on earth. So when I say pedestrians, there were a lot of them. And
Okay, but Also, why are cops trying to sting a guy who's known for driving reckless in a Lamborghini in such a busy place, in the one of the busiest places in the world, full of pedestrians? Like, that just seems like a recipe for disaster, no? Like, why would you? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
During all of this chaos, a pedicab, which is like, the bicycle taxi, it was hit, and NYPD says one officer's foot got ran over. So not exactly life-threatening, but easily enough to add assault to an officer onto the existing rap sheet. But here's where it gets a little bit blurry, because some people online are speculating they heard gunshots, with even some people in the car coming to that conclusion.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
My brother's name.
And this tells
Is
us
that the El Muño Papi guy or El Nuño, whatever he says?
he's definitely not in custody and that he's going to have to move a lot quieter. I mean, you can even see him worry in this clip.
I'm keeping it real calm. I was about to leave. Hey, right now, you look very familiar. I'm scared.
But going back to the most important detail, the way cops
is
act in
God,
this situation, because it's interesting that they managed to surround him that quickly in Times Square, as this might be a sign of them actually watching the stream. Normally, if you call NYPD about an actual crime in progress, you're waiting for 10 to 15 minutes or maybe even longer. But in this situation, they were already there. So to me, it seems like a targeted operation, and it lines up with what NYPD has been talking about regarding their social media monitoring unit. They announced last year that they're actually watching streamers and social media accounts in real time.
Yeah, they definitely need to be watching Kick, because Kick is a madness, bro. Whatever's going on Kick, every week there's something happening. People are dying. People are getting attacked. People are... there's so much going on there.
So if you're broadcasting your location with thousands of viewers, you're not just streaming to your fans, you're also most likely streaming to the cops. And remember, this isn't the first time clout-chasing drivers have ran into the cops, because you have Squeeze Benz, a 19-year-old who went viral drifting through Times Square last year. He posted similar content fairly regularly, and if you remember, he was arrested as well last year.
Oh, nah.
Because he thought he was completely untouchable until NYPD and Newark PD actually built a case off his social media footprint and arrested him. His videos literally became the evidence. That's, a similar road that License is speeding down as we speak. So the difference is that Squeeze never ran over a cop's foot, and License allegedly did. And that's honestly the line you really don't want to cross when it comes to law enforcement. Assaulting an officer, even if it's just a foot injury, is the kind of charge prosecutors stack on top of everything else. So where is License today? Well, free currently, but definitely not safe. He might be posting right now, but every stream, every Instagram story, every clip of him flexing is just more fuel to whatever case the NYPD is currently building on it.
Why does it feel like in New York, like, it just feels like so lawless? Like, you could just run away from the police and they'll be like, oh, yeah, cool. We'll see you later, buddy.
They're not rushing this. They're gathering every single piece of content, every angle, every stream, and they'll wait for the perfect time to move again. And if they're willing to swing batons at a Lamborghini in Times Square surrounded by tourists and Broadway billboards, just imagine what happens when they finally corner him in somewhere quieter. And let's just talk about the big what if, because what happens if NYPD actually managed to arrest License? Because
But why didn't they try and corner him somewhere else quieter? Because that also seemed very dangerous for a lot of people. That just seems reckless, bro. I don't know.
now it's not just traffic ticket situations anymore. First off, there's the Times Square incident itself. Cops say officer's foot actually got ran over. That alone could turn into assault on an officer, which in New York can jump from a misdemeanor all the way up to a felony, depending on the injuries. And even though the cops' injuries were reported as minor, the fact that it actually happened during an active police operation makes it a huge deal. Then you have the reckless endangerment, because he was allegedly speeding through Times Square, one of the busiest tourist spots on Earth, with pedestrians and cars everywhere. That is literally textbook reckless endangerment, which is also a felony when people are put at risk of serious harm. And since the reports say a pedicab and other bystanders got hit, that only makes things worse. Then you add on the fleeing and eluding police, which is another charge that can jump up depending on how dangerous the chase was, and this was one in front of hundreds of witnesses, on stream in 4K. And then finally, you can't forget the car itself. himself because he's always on high-end rentals. If prosecutors can prove that he used fake info, or if those cars were damaged while being driven illegally, that can also tack on fraud or Grand Theft Auto type charges. But obviously, the kicker is all of this is happening while he's actively being shown on live streams and his own YouTube videos. So it's not like this is just like one incident that can be used against him. It's his whole YouTube channels. So literally every time he does something like this, it just becomes more and more evidence.
Oh my God! Oh no! 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 Oh! No, sir! Oh God! Oh my God! No! No! It's all full over.
I mean, no wonder Jack looks so scared here. He's very aware of how easy cars can crash.
Oh! No! No!
The bottom line is, like, half the people we cover here on this channel, every video, every TikTok, every kick stream, he's basically just farming more evidence against himself. So I would not be surprised if he ends up just like Squeeze Benz, because that dude, he thought he was untouchable until cops essentially pieced together months of footage and hit him with a mountain of charges.
Well, to me, this is not sustainable. Like, I feel like when it comes to this swimming illegal stuff, bro, one guy's gonna go to jail, he's gonna get caught, go to jail. Then the next guy's going to come in, he's going to rise up in the ranks, get all the clout, then the same thing's going to happen. Because this thing is not sustainable. It's illegal, obviously. You can't be doing this. You know, the cops are going to catch up at some point. And then, you know, it's just the next guy in the spotlight. I think that's how it is with these swimmers.
License is arguably way more reckless, and now that an officer has been hurt, the system has every reason to come down even harder on him. Bottom line, if they catch him, License could be staring down multiple felonies, years in prison, and a giant pile of civil lawsuits from anyone hurt in these stunts. License might think that he's playing some game, but the truth is, the game has definitely changed. And also just doing this in New York City is incredibly stupid because you have more CCTV cameras there than like any other city in America.
Yeah, I think also, yeah, it's just very reckless. This is just a very reckless thing to do. As enjoying as it is to watch, it's entertaining, it's thrilling, it's like, okay, cool, but it's so stupid. You're endangering so many people's lives. You're endangering your life, the people who are with you, just innocent civilians for no good reason, just for likes and views and clicks. It's just crazy to me that you would do this on a regular. You know what I'm saying? Even 1 or 2 times is too much to do this because you can't control the actions of everybody else on the road. You might think you have the wheel, but what happens if the man next to you doesn't and panics and swerves and causes somebody else to swerve? And bro, you never know what could happen on the road, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can never say that you're not endangering people by driving recklessly, because this is driving recklessly. It doesn't matter how good you feel you can drive. Driving at high speeds and swerving and squeezing through tight gaps and not indicating and trying to drift in and out of traffic, bro, that is reckless. That's stupid. That's dumb. And no matter how good it looks, bro, it's still dumb. It's still stupid. You know, so I don't acknowledge these guys. I don't big up these guys for doing it, but I'm not going to sit here and say I've not watched hours of this content and been amazed and been wowed and be like, oh my God, how did he make it through that? Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be a hypocrite and not say I don't see the entertainment factor or value in it, but it's still reckless and wildly stupid. That's a fact. And I think that's where we can leave it for today. And yeah, man, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys feel like you respect these type of guys? Do you watch this type of content? Do you engage with it? Let me know. Let me know. Oh. All right. Like, comment, and subscribe. Love y'all, man.